I've been bout my papyrus since I've been in it. Put me in the debate, you know I'm gon' win it. If I scream black power, don't get timid. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. Primary research and we done pushed it to the limits. All you dudes finished. The king counting cattle up with brother Reggie. When I'm in Oakland, smoking, bro, they love the Chevy. Back in the day, it was the spokes on the chariot. Long procession when the king got carried out to every spot. Woman looking nice as ISIS. I read ancient texts, so my advice is priceless. Nubian gold, your ice don't entice us. Beating me harder than counting grains in your spices. Your heart was beating, but your brain dead. You're lifeless. Yo, they ain't nothing like us, yo. Don't try to make me mad. Make me smile and say you love me, man. That's real right there. Come on. You should listen to your main man's advice. Do a YouTube and apologize like Dice. Or the back fade coming like the Antichrist. Egyptologists sent me reading and said that I'm nice. I got a speller with your name on it. I'm like Sargon. You the type of dude wake up in your car gone. Told, cause of the money you owe. Before you stream, you should clean up that humble abode. Like I'm not in city for my woman in gold. I keep the pseudos running, people coming in droves. You catch me on a live stream with Pan-African James. When we building, call us by our African names. I'm for the children. And ain't nothing happen to change. We on that black hype, so we still packing them things for protection. Got connections, My complexion, pure black, that's the S. Make me smile. You love me? Show me some love. All right.
Microphone check 1 2. Yo. All right, I'm gonna go and play another tune straight off the Fights Over Egypt album. Not even tripping. I guess we're gonna talk about Kush. You feel me? Didn't I put that in the title? And ain't that what we was talking about the other day? So I want to finish that up. But I'll play one more joint and let's get right into it.
Black people, I love you, and I love you enough to tell you, you ain't ready to revolt shit. You don't feed yourself, you don't hunt your own animals and slaughter them, you don't prepare for your own meat, you don't own your own land, you don't have a seed going in your window. So when you think about revolutionarism, and you think about fighting and dying in the street, you ain't shit.
Killer Mike said black people ain't ready to revolt. It's a disparaging marriage and he ready to elope. Maritime coastline, deep V hull boat. Crack a nose turned up, machete to your throat. The divine snatched the arm back, she fine, she in Zinga. Moroccan mercenary got a line on Moringa. Ask Chief X to swing it. Go fund me to rock a new car or build a school like I'm Dr. Umar. Nah, go fund some more guns, banana clips and cannabis and bury it. The jackal, Anubis. I'm cool, keep them heaters and I'm in tie in an abyss. He ain't rapping due to libations, he just channeling this.
Hands down, you ain't ready to oppose nothing. You are as a part of this system as any white person gentrified.
I'm on life. Hovercraft propellers over swamp water. We make the thoughtful think they should have thought harder. Be aware of this. Don't blink, there's only one blunt between the careful and careless. It's hard to face it when you need a shrink or a therapist. Mental disorder ordered them to label you a terrorist. I breathe elements and I found the secret. We could all walk on water if it's ground beneath it. I carry my weapon and keep my trees and still be Hotep and ask to Rick Nasheed. 6 in the morning I greet my seed, then do everything I think I need.
I have to say this because I know our spirit and our emotions get stirred. I'm not against nobody on the panel. I'm with everybody on the panel. I'm not I agree with everything my brother said about revolutionaryism. So let me ask you guys a few questions. We're in the South, we're in the heart of the South right now. Who fishes? Who knows how to fish?
Black people,
Hands down.
ready to revive?
Who knows how to hunt? Let's hands. Hands down. Hands down.
Hold on.
Black people, are you ready to revive? Black people, are you ready to revive?
As far as
Yeah, that's what we talking about.
Black people, are you ready to revive? Black people, are you ready to revive?
All right, cool. What's up? How y'all doing? Thanks for watching. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Sound off if you in the chat. It's nothing, just chilling. Ready to get my studies in. Cause too much trivial time, dog. I mean, too much time just doing nothing. It don't be cool. I'm going and allow some notifications from YouTube. Let a few people roll in. I don't know if they get my notification out or not. But I was on my Kush hype. If you don't study ancient history, but you read the Bible, you probably know of Kush from the Bible. In the beginning, the river that ran through the land of Havilah, and in the Kush are Ethiopia. There was one text I read a while ago, and it was speaking fondly about the Kushites. I look like I'm in the Matrix. No, I'm just in the office. Since Kush was this big entity to the south of Egypt that could rival the power of Kemet, when we find them talking about Kush in ancient Egyptian texts, a lot of the times it's often not so positive. So you know what I mean? It's because a lot of the times what we get left to us is the political view. What can I say? I need people to understand this. Like if you're reading text off the side of a temple, you're not really getting the view of the everyday Egyptian. You're getting the view of, particularly you're getting the view of that pharaoh at that time period. Right? Smash, did I hear Black Sage called me out with Yara? Shout out to Black Sage. The fate of the people who call me out. I wonder how they deal with it. I'm not, I mean, I could be wrong. But calling me out is kind of crazy. So what you say? Yeah, he wanna holla at Smash. Well, shout out to him and Yara. We'll see how that turns out. So I got a few texts on the screen. I'm gonna pull one up. Before we share the English, let's just look at it. This is a particular story about a Kushite, but all I want you just to look at right now some of us may or may not know the Medunetia, is the word that is, I'm calling this highlight, but it's in a box, tanned out box. This is not just the word for Kush. This is like Kushy. One from Kush. Now you want to know what? Pertaining to some of the politics of the world today and history and how scholarship went down. When they started to learn these ancient languages, there was a big push. But this push didn't start with modern scholarship. Actually, if we go back to historically, one of the first times, not biblically, but historically, around the time when people of the, I want to say, I'm not trying to say Hebrews, but people from Judah or whatever, or people would come into Egypt, right? There started these debates. Well, there's always been debates over who was the most antiquitous people, but everybody got sat down by Africans, particularly the Egyptians, who had recorded history that went back further than Jewish history or further than Greek history. So before I talk about the modern scholars, let's talk about this ancient debate where old people of knowledge, I don't know if we really, we could call them scholars, right? And historians of the Christian and Jewish faith, right? They would toil with the antiquity, or they had problems with the antiquity or the age, how old the ancient Egyptians were. They really couldn't deal with it because it messed up biblical stories. So you know how people still to this day, some young uninformed person may come on this show and be like, say that the earth is 6,000 years old. That is based on basically the timeline that they were trying to fit everything into. So we know some of the first people to try to refute the antiquity of the ancient Egyptians. Well, if we want to be correct, we could go back to one of the Greek sages, Solon or Salome. He thought he was raw and took a trip to Egypt. He was like one of the wisest people in Greece, or whatever they called it at the time period. I don't know if he was Macedonia, whatever. He was one of the wisest people, one of the 7 sages. And he set off to Egypt to learn. But when he got there, rather pretentiously, he requested to speak to the eldest of the priests in order to compare their histories and all of this stuff. And the priest he was allowed to speak with just sunned him tremendously. he sunned him like, you can look up the quote, but he was basically telling the Greeks, your people are like children. And he said, particularly because you only recall one flood. All right. This is supposedly what the Egyptian priest said to Solomon. I mean, he said it a little bit harsher than I said it. You know what I mean? But what he told them was that they was just a young people, which is evidently true. But that was what, 800, 700 BC-ish. These more recent people at about 300 BC. See, when the Greeks came in 332 BC and took over Egypt, well, I mean, there's a lot you could say about that. But when they took over Egypt, they also had a quest for knowledge and to compare these histories and to see what's up. Historians before them told them that all of their gods, all of their deities, all of their knowledge came from Egypt. Before the Greeks was Herodotus. He was Greek, but he came before 332 BC. Whether he came or not, that's a particular study, but what he reported about the ancient Egyptians also caused some people later to him to bring certain things into question. Particularly the antiquity of the ancient Egyptian, of the Africans, right? Stretching beyond the Hebrew time frame. They sitting here talking about they was alive when God was still in the cosmos. That's how they looking at it. Right? So certain scholastic deeds and duties would have started to appear, meaning in order to tell someone the history of Egypt, you got to go to a qualified person. You can't just be the Greeks and take over and run up on anybody. Say, tell me what's going on. So you go after the priest, the people who would know the language, who would know how to read what's on the temples, and have them tell that back to you. Well, it was some time, maybe the second ruler or the first ruler after, well, I think it may have been Ptolemy the First Soter. Or he was one of Napoleon's generals. Wait, I said Napoleon? Excuse me. He was one of Alexander's generals. I skipped up in the time period, excuse me, and went all French on him. He was, whatever, forget it. I wasn't talking about Napoleon, I was talking about Alexander. And Ptolemy the First Soter, this started the Ptolemaic period in Egypt. Or Philadelphia's. It was either Ptolemy the First Soter or Philadelphia's. Okay. He is said to go after somebody who could explain the history of Egypt. Now, don't get it twisted. All the way down to what's happening today, I'm leading up to that. I'm teaching storytelling. Because one thing you got to know if there was a place at the time period of Josephus called Israel, if there was a place called that during the time period of Manetho or Ptolemy, they would have wanted to know the history of that too. Because all of these faiths at their time period are alive. Christianity ain't popping yet. Christianity ain't popping yet. Islam ain't popping yet. Is ancient Egyptian religions, right? Is the form of Judaism at that time, right? And I can't even go into, you know what the Greeks was on. I'm tripping. You know about all their gods and stuff. Zeus, Apollo, blah, 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 blah. But Manetho gave out a history that did not satisfy anyone from the Jewish tradition. Because Manetho's ancient Egyptian history corroborated what the Egyptian priest told Salome some 500 years before that. When the Egyptian priest told Salome, dude, your people are literally like kids. I should find that quote. It's far more elegant and it's a grand diss. He was like, sit down, don't come trying to talk to our biggest priest. I could tell you this. But the history was too long. Actually, the number that you hear, 36,000 years. You ever heard people talk about a 36,000 year history of ancient Egypt? Yes or no? Some people say yes, some people say no. You ever heard those, I was going to say, I don't know, they're not really accepted in academia, but there are particular scholars who've done weather dating on the Hor-Em Akhet, they call the Sphinx, and they say it is older than 10,000 years old. Well, indeed, the history Manetho gave required those who received it to come up with theories to truncate the history, like a kick drum, cut off the beginning so that it hit right with their history. Yes, sir, I've showed accounts of that plenty times. I'm not about to do it now, but I'll point people to those references. Because it was a book written by, was it R.A. Waddell? It was a book written by Waddell called Manetho. Now let's talk about Manetho's work, who was this ancient Egyptian priest who supposedly told the Greeks the history of Egypt. Everybody know his work didn't survive to us. It survived to other people, though. And what would be the evidence for us to say that that's true? Because we find his work in the refutations and polemics mounted by his rivals. So think about that. That's like us saying us looking through history saying a rapper didn't exist But we keep hearing songs from that time period with other rappers dissing him. We would start to believe that how could he have not existed if we got, and it's better than songs, because songs are made just like that to some people. These are well-written documents and manuscripts written in, I don't like calling that time period ancient times, but written around 200 BC-ish, you know what I'm saying? That is speaking on the matter. So if they had a problem at that time period, nobody would have been able to show them any evidence of any of their stories in the Medu Neter. But Manetho was tasked to do so. Think these people took over your thing, and some people they rocking with rolling through, because the Greeks used to hire Jews to be in their armies. And it's a term that stuck with me for a while about the girdle wearers. The Zonophoroni were the girdle wearing warriors in one of these Egyptian revolts. At about the number 37 is coming in my head, but I don't want to say that wrong. It was a revolt about 37. Is it not BC? It must have been AD, but whatever. Can't remember that one, so I don't want to do that like that. But they must have tried to look for everything in the ancient text people try to look for now. You see? They must have tried to look for Tales of Moses, Abraham, and Israel. Now, I can say, quite frankly, if the text that they say has the ancient name of Israel on it, if it is real and not just a fakery or forgery, because there's a lot of controversy about it. I could say that Manetho, quite possibly, just from my knowledge of how they found the text, he probably didn't know about it. It probably was fake. Because see, and I'm doing straight memory right now, but if you fact check anything I say, even try ChatGPT, you're gonna be like, this boy good. Because it was written not, so I don't want to qualify this. It's a debate whether the word Israel was written in ancient Egyptian text or not. But here's my point, and I'm just to cut to the chase of the point, as I started with this Kush word on the screen, to show you there's no debate on whether Kush, this ancient African kingdom cited in the beginning of the Bible, was real or not. We see it right here, saying Kush. As a matter of fact, Manetho and all of the Greeks would have known and learned about Kush as soon as they took over Egypt. And they did, and they went and tried to penetrate it and kept getting shot up, couldn't penetrate it, finally penetrated it. But let's finish about that story. One of the main reasons why I say Manetho either, now some would say, what if he hid it? Why am I saying that? Because it was written on the back of Amenhotep the third stela. Merenptah stelae wasn't even cut. See, this is the type of stuff we be having to trip off. This is another reason why we got to be statistical when we do our research. How many other stelae was written on the back of somebody else's stela, whatever? How many was like that? Because in the case of the basalt slab that is supposed to contain the word Israel on it, it ain't even written on a piece of basalt that was cut out for that pharaoh. So what was they, lazy? And if I'll love to be corrected on this. I'll show you the book to read to correct me. I think it's called Researches in the Sinai by Flinders Petrie. Because your correction will just be a slight correction. It ain't like you're going to check me like I'm lying. But I think when they found it, this is how I know it's too much pseudo-ness going on in this. Because when they found it, first of all, if y'all can cite me the other ancient Egyptian stela or the other list of stelas that if you read the backside is another king used that, then I'll say okay. But see, why would that be significant? Because lazy ass Egyptologists who want to forge some shit is not about to go cut out a big ass piece of basalt rock. They just gonna write it on the back of another piece of basalt rock and turn it around. See? Would you? I'm saying, you just like, let's just write it on this. So one of the things, if you read Flinders Petrie's work, he wasn't even the one. One of his homies just suggested, they didn't even do it. Oh no. It was just an educated guess that the words say Israel. Right? And it's been standing up to this time. But anyway, this isn't really an educated guess. You could go through the orthography of ancient Egyptian to see that this was Kush. Right? But look at this. I like this one because, oh no, they do wrong here too. But I'll take you to another rendition of this one. It says, we will preserve them from the harmful spell of Assyria, from the harmful spell of a Kushite, from the harmful spell of a Nubia. Now, how many times, man, I done had people try to argue with me that Kushites and Nubians is the same thing. Oh, for real, Kara Cooney just did a show on this? Interesting. But look, if I put over and over and over again text on the screen that distinguish Kushites from Nubians, then why don't Egyptologists? So look at this. From the harmful spell of the Kushite, that's right here. Now let me see what I say from the harmful spell of the Nubian. Because I don't see no, look, what is this doing? Feel? I think they translated something wrong. I'll show you in the meta-netta. It's right here, see? That's why you can't even depend on this. Because this ain't, what's all this? This is it. Nahasi. Now look, Southerner, Nubian, different from this. Kushite. And the protection in this spell is protect you from the magic of both of them, including Syrians, Kushites, Nubians, Libyans, and from the spell from the man of Egypt. Now let's look at that. You see, that don't make no sense. Because you think Egypt is Kemet. It don't say Egypt, it say Kemet right here. So where would you think this person lived? Now it's time to go in. Why they gonna protect you from the spell from the man in Egypt if you was in Egypt? Nah, you somewhere in the north, man. I already know. And you're gonna get protected from the spells from the people of Egypt, Kemet. This is wrong too. It says story. What's this? See, Hakau. Magic. See? But it says story. Like, what's that? So something's going on where they're transliterating this in the English wrong. But I can notice it because I see words like field. What is that? Tell. Come on, what's going on here? But we read the glyphs so we don't have to rely on that, and we just found a term like that. You feel me? There go your Kemet to magic. Or no, this is Hakau. So this, and it got his hand to his mouth. So this is spells or incantations being given against you. Let me click it. Magic. See what I'm saying? But this is the word without them telling you it's literal incantations. When you go look at the text, you clearly see the determinative got the man with his hand to his mouth. So now he gonna spit, and that's the Hakau of who? Well, this could be the Kushite Hakau. This is Nahesi, and this means, all right, so that's just the word too, but it could be seen in different ways. And right now it's not saying two. So it's normally directional or, so this must be, which R is this? It's not comparative. Against or something? I don't know. I'll click it to show you what I mean. When you click this, you'll get so many different, not this. Far from. Okay, they're saying from. Cool. That's another. But this R got hella meanings. But in this instance, they're saying from. Well, it don't really make sense. Nahesi from magic. Magic of the Nahesi. Okay. It's all good. But y'all see, definitely they distinguish the difference between Kushites and Nubians. 4th century BC, strangely enough, to the 2nd century BC is going to the time period right when we was talking about. This is kind of like a repeat of the same type of text. It's just protecting you from the magic of these other people. May you save them from enemy, adversary, all male and female spirits of the dead, any sorcerers or sorceresses from the evil eye of Assyrian, the Nubian, Egyptian. Now it says evil eye here, right? Let's go into the Meta Nature. There we go. Look, this is not no evil eye, bro. But let's see what this is, though. So now, if I click it, an I is just IR. It'll be an I and an R, but I don't think that. And they got this flesh thing right here, and they got a T. So this is really an I, but what's making it evil? Let's look. This word right here. Ben. This is not a good word, but see, bad, evil. But it's not really connected to the eye because it got this neb after it. So all eyes, every eye, bad, evil, bad, belonging to Syria. So what they say? From the evil eye of Assyrian. So let me click this eye. Remember I told you to be IR, but they got the T under it. So, man, did they really say the evil eye? Because they got this bin word right here. So why is it separated by a neb? Let's talk about it. Neb, if it is an adjective on modifying the word for eyes, which it appears to be, it would mean all the eyes or every eye. So if this is another modifier on this noun, because it's saying those eyes are evil, I don't think this should be phrased like this. But what they're saying is, so when I click this, it's two options. Lord or master or all and every, right? Now look, see, so this all and every, right? So, but I'm just saying, why did they put the all and every before the bin for bad? I thought traditionally it would be like eret bin neb. But anyway, they're connecting this to say evil eye belonging to, this is ni, so this is one whole thing, one whole phrase. Eret neb bin, evil eye. But why the neb got a every? Do they say every? They don't say every in here nowhere. So just for the record, all sorcerers and sorcerers, all sorceresses is translating back to what? Where are we getting that from? I see. So this is what they're calling a sorcerer and a sorceress, I think. But I'm just speed reading. Because what is a John? An opponent. See? And then this is a female opponent. A female opponent, okay. So are they just calling those sorcerers? Are these the sorcerers? Spirits, them spirits. So that's the spirits. So they're going to protect you from female spirits of the dead and all sorcerers. So the sorcerers is, well, this right here just says, now this is pay, but this is payuti. And then it's a netcher. What we know about payuti the netcher? Because this is nebet. So payuti got something to do? Oh, they changed it to hakah. Oh, okay, so that's cool. This is a different way to say hakah. Look, when I click this payuti, y'all see the pay right there, and then the u, payui. I shouldn't say a T. Payui, or whatever. But when I click it, watch the glyphs change. See? Now we got hakah. So maybe this was another way to say a person who does the magic, but they got the Horus divinity on there. Interesting. And this is going to be the same term. But now I got the feet under here instead of the standard. And let's see, it mean the same thing. See, it changed to the same. One who does magic, a magician, see? It changed to one. Now, how did it change? Because they put these two reed leaves there. So that changed it to one who does magic. And so it says magician. But if we go back to the last one, ain't no reed, it's a ooh here. So this is just magic. No, they say magician. Yeah, it could be a magician too with the ooh here. They're not wrong. Right? That's not wrong. But because Hakah would just be magic, Haka'u is changing it into an entity that does magic. Just like the two reed leaves is doing that too, but it's doing it in two different ways with the grammar. So they wanted protection from the spirits of. Now, why do they want? Because maybe an Egyptian will put a spell on you too. All right, that's cool. That was only 2 attestations for Kush-E that they have in there. Yeah, there you go, Ampu. He said Hakah also had the poneglyph. I wasn't familiar with that version of Hakah. Thank you. I like to learn on the show. So this is an old Stem set, one of the first renditions of Kush that we see. It's a list of stuff that they bring it back, it appears. During the time of Sinro set, but it's the Stella of Mentuhotep. So it might have been right before Sinro set. In a biography of Buhim. That's why they say 11th and 12th dynasty. We tripped off this. I passed Kush selling southward. So he passed Kush. And he reached the limits of the earth and he brought gifts to his Lord. Then his majesty proceeded in peace after he had crushed his enemies in vile Kush. Wretched Kush. That's where we get that from. You see this adjective after it? It means wretched. Is a kind of like a term that we use to just be like to talk bad about their neighbors. They use it so many times on Kushites. They use it twice or 3 times more on people from the Levant. He has sent me to fetch amethyst from Kush, so that I might bring back an extraordinary amount from there, so that I may please his majesty with what he commanded me. So we can see first, partner just trivially sailed past Kush to go to the limits of the earth, and he brought stuff back from past Kush. If I show you past Kush, this dude was well down in Africa. But this dude, then they fought Kush on this text. Then his majesty Sarimputs, who's a Tassetian Nubian, gonna help him fight the Kushites. Then we got going to get some rock from Kush. So something must have happened during that fight to where after you fought him, now you could go get some rock down there just so readily and easily. I'm not stringing these things together in the way they shouldn't be, but these are chronological texts in the same time period. Right? Now we at Amenemhet II. Come with bowed heads are similar by the children of the princes of Kush and of Ubat Sepet and their tributes. Now, I'm more interested in this second location. Ubat Sepet. Oh, this says Kush belonging to Ubat. So there's children of the princes of Kush, but they are from Ubat Sepet. So where's Ubat Sepet? It's a place name, and dang, I hate this. The only place it occurred. So we don't got no other way to look to see where this is at. But you think so the children of the princes of Kush and of Ubat Sepet, that might have been a whole nother African kingdom, family. First of all, you never mention a city with a nation. Like, I know how ancient Egyptians talk. They don't be like a city and a nation. They don't even be like a nome and a nation. I mean, I'm just trying to think. If they saying the children of the princes of Kush, they saying and the children of the princes of Ubat Sepet. So if we ever find anything about Ubat Sepet, we will look into that. So his majesty has ordered the repair, literally to make new of the canal. Now, I think we're going to go into this one. But of the canal, the name of this canal is perfect are the ways of Kakaura, everlasting, after his majesty had gone upspring to bring down the wretched Kush. So what do you mean by bring down? See, this is this word. And you see that man on the ground? So this ain't a bringing down. This word, so this word, secret, I guess, is going to be like to overthrow, maybe? Yeah, perfect. Feel me? To overthrow. Right? So let's keep it popping. So he went overthrew wretched Kush. See, this is a big fight. Now, I don't believe that's true. He probably set out to overthrow wretched Kush, but when he had to fight the rebellious Nubians on his way to wretched Kush, so calls he. And half of the Nubians probably was with what he was doing. Half of the Nahesi was probably with what he was doing. And half of them was fighting him. So by the time he set up his Stella in Semna, what evidence do we have that he went any further than that? Because you ain't in Kush yet, really. You just hella close, closer than anybody had been, and you setting up a border in the safe zone. You feel me? Now we just started, and see, this is how we like to deal with it. So you notice we ain't got to look at the translations yet. And I know a lot of my archers in the text just read this so smoothly. I'm trying to get to the point where I don't even read it in the ancient Egyptian no more, because that ain't really useful for nobody. So I'm just gonna tell you what this say. It says, praises to Asar by the, I think this say the hereditary prince. So let's remember, praises to Asar by the hereditary prince. Then I see this May-ib. This is something, this is his name. May-ib in suit. Oh no, I see Nisut now. So May-ibn, now I gotta click this, because this is gonna have me. Yeah, so you see the May-ib. Now there go the N I said, but it was Nisut. So who is May-ib Nisut? It's a title or epithet. This is the confidant of the king. So let's go back. Where that's at. See, so I said the hereditary prince. When I click this, then make sure, yep, I'm right. Hereditary prince. Feel me? Because I knew they messed this word up, and they got it looking like two words here. No, this is the four. Okay, I got it. Yeah, but I knew it. The foremost, right? Hati, the count, the court, the mayor. All right. Hereditary prince, the mayor. So that's probably his Nisu. This is the top confidant of the king. Samin. So this Samin, now check this out. I don't know the word, but they left everything to me to know it. Just look. They left a papyrus roll at the end that's telling me that this should be an intangible concept. Now they got another determinative under here that I can't really make. But the word is samin, right? So if I read the sentence, I'm going to get the context. Praises to Asar by the hereditary prince, the nobleman, the courtier of the king, or they said, by in samin. Oh, this is monuments. So in bringing together in building the monuments. So this isn't the way you normally say men, but to men is to establish. So if he summoned them, he caused them to be established. Watch this. To make distinguished, to make effective, to embellish, to endow. It don't say the cause to be established, but it means the same thing. He made them distinguished. All right, so that's cool. Hold on. Where we at? But now what did he make distinguished is these monuments. So notice the ancient Egyptian wordplay. Semen menu. Semen menu. Semen menu. All right, man, that's like something you want to say in a bar or something. Semen menu is to make the monuments, his monuments effective. So these are monuments, right? Let's go back. Where we at? So praises. Now I'm gonna click every word, but first I gotta close all these. There's too many of them opened up, and it'll just be ridiculous. All right. So where are we? We're gonna read from the top, and I'm gonna open up a screen for everyone. I said this is praises. You can say praise in the verbal position. I'm trying to make it a verb, so you can say praising. Praising Osiris, praising Wasir. This word, now I'll read it in the ancient Egyptian. This word is dua. Dua. Oh. It is going to say praise, but it's a thankful praise. So it's like thanking a star. But let's click it and see if it say thanks or praise. To praise, to worship. Don't forget, when you want to say thank you to somebody, you also can say dua. Right? So it went with my first take to praise, or praising Wasir. When you see this eye over a throne, you don't have to see nothing else. That's Wasir or Osiris. See, it say Wasir though. Osiris in the Greek, right? Now this just said, this let me know what time period we're in. It's not written to let me know what time period we're in, but when we start to learn the ancient Egyptian language, we'll know that this isn't the most common way to say this word. This is a reed leaf, some will call it a Y, and this is an N. But some people wouldn't have knew this was an N. They would have just seen a reed leaf. See, if you only study Middle Egyptian, you probably would have seen a reed leaf and a crown. That's not what we see here. This is the word on, which means by. See, on. See, this is the other way. See how the glyphs change to the old way you would see it? And it just means by. So now this is praising Wasir, or praises Wasir, praises to Wasir by the hereditary prince. We already clicked that. The nobleman, they say the mayor, May in, so we got this in, but this is May in, but this is May with the red crown, and then we got the word Nisu. This is a phrase, May Ib Nisu, for the confidant of the king, not the king, but the confidant of the king. Again, we got our preposition. And when you see this M, you could think in, because LMNOP, so every time I see the M, I think in. So in, making distinguished, we click this. Monuments, his. So making his monuments distinguished. Now what is this? This is a good one. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, Ak-u-ib. But that's probably not right. It's probably just Ak. How am I going out on this tangent from my knowledge of the language? This isn't really a common determinative for Ak, right? Now y'all could teach me and I could learn here live that this isn't even Ak. but I clearly see the Q at the bottom. That looks like a spirit bird. No, see, that's the, all right. First, that's Ba, so I ain't gonna, let me prove this to myself. That is Ba, so that let me know that this might be the Ak bird over here, right? Because I see the Q, but there's a heart behind it. And since this square is like this, I'm going to say that this is Ak-Ib. Now, Ib is the heart, and Ak is the spirit. So what would Ak-Ib mean? If I could be misleading you, y'all, but this is how you got to figure shit out by yourself. If you ain't got no training wheels, I could just go down and look at the answers. But we showing the process of figuring it out. So I know the position that the determinative would be in to help me determine the word. I don't think this is a determinative because it has the single stroke behind it. It wants me to really think about a heart. Now, if this was a word for spirit or shining or something like that, this is the shining heart. I'm right, it is Ak-Ib, see? You do pronounce that because it's not a determinative, and it's confidant. So let's think about this. Think about what I said it meant, spirit and heart. But look at the legs in the middle that I didn't pay no attention to. Check out how you could get a confidant from that. So seriously though, think about what's on your heart is what's on your mind to the ancient Egyptian, right? But still, and you're gonna let your spirit, this is your confidant, the person who you're confiding in, great. I'm not, so this is Ak-Ib, I'm not mad at that, like, right? F, his confidant. It said it twice, but it said it different this way. But it always got that heart in it. So I'm going to remember these words with this heart that I am familiar with is about the confidant. We familiar with this term is about being the foremost. But when we see this word is often associated to Wasir, Kinti Amintiyu, the foremost of the Westerners. And we don't see a Y here. So we just going to say Kent. Now, if we just got Kent, you could say the foremost, but you probably gonna think in front of, or let me see, Kent, see, not Kenty, Kent in front of. Secondly, you think foremost. And third, you think out of. But if you just see Kent, you just think in front of, right? And then we got Shinyet, and it's got a person with these three things. Now, I don't know this, but we're going to figure it out. See, this determinative let me know that whatever Shinyet is just a man, not even in an occupation. I mean, this might be saying this occupation, but it is a man, and then it got plurality. So it is like something that got to do with a group of men or something in that extent. Now, I'm saying Shini, and it got men here. The foremost, what is the Shini? Shini? Somebody else, a worker? Let me see. This is just a worker? No, this is more than a worker. It is somebody from the entourage of the king. That's good though. Worker is close. Because if you're from the entourage, you are a worker. But we got to keep it clear that the Shini ain't like just a Bach. A Bach is a regular worker, right? A Shini is like one of the king's workers. You right, though. And then we got, so this is a good one, because this will fool some people. So this is really not one word. This is two words. So this is to give, this says given by. This is what we call Erdion. Remember Erdion Netta? Remember I said Nefer Abba Pepper Nuksesh Im Amin Ra. This is the phrase I was saying right here. Look. But this is Erdion Nisu. You don't have to say Erdion. I was saying "tuh" because a T and a D could switch. And if you learn from E.A. Wallace Budge, you probably pronounce a T there. So that was work I did 15 years ago when I did that song in 2011 or something, right? And I said Ertaan Netta. Right now I say Erdi or ready. This is what we're dealing with here. The is the R on top. The D is this arm under it, which got a bread loaf in it, which means to give. That compound means to give. You know it's not a word, ready in. So this is Erdi in, given by. So if I click this, see, you just see the Erdi. They lost the N because the N is another word. This Erdi is just giving you given to give. The N is by. So look where to go. Erdi in. Given by who? Just if you can't read the glyphs, start at the determinative. It's in the back position. Don't that look like something royal? Something, you know, that's the king. You see the hook in the flail, crook in the flail. So this is the Nisu. So it is, I forgot who these was. These the courtiers are the king's men given by the king to, who is it given to? For Karep Ka? Okay. This is the work. This is your workers over here. But this is a particular type of a worker. This is a her pet. I mean, I can't really pronounce that. Correct. This is a particular type of worker. So I'm gonna try to figure out what type of worker this is. Now think about it. We got to take the context of everything we read. He was making the monuments distinguished. His monuments distinguished. What was this, like a confidant? Yeah, his confidants in front of his companions. So he did it in front of his boys, given by the king to her pet Kot. This is some type of a worker. So Kot is a particular type of work. You see the man ain't just standing like a man over here. The man got a bowl on top of his head now. He's kneeling down with a bowl on his head, and the word in front of him is Kot. So we know that is work, but it is another word in front of this Kot. What type of work? He said a rower. Let me see. So this is a Kerpet Kot. It says Kawet, which is he's a director of the worker. Okay. We knew it was a worker, but the word in front of it made him the director. And I should have known that by the strong arm determinative right here. I would have probably said the strong of the workers. He's a director of a worker of or upon the monuments. See the same word for monuments? Monuments. So he's directing the workers who working on the monuments. His monuments, right? Belonging to, no, don't say belonging to here. Say of, and you say a million. So it's a million, it ain't a million of them, is it? So you gonna say a million or you gonna say hi? Monuments, his monument of millions. And this says, this is the same word up here. So this says, what did that say? Distinguishing his monuments belonging to the gods of, now this is a different place. I don't know this place. We'll come back to it because it got 3 buildings at the bottom and it just has an R with 3 strokes. But we want to not mislead nobody, so let's go back to what they don't know. Right here, I thought this was millions. Somebody said Ma'at. Says, Moo, you messed that up, blood. Stop guessing and spamming, bro. Take some time off in the chat. You got about 15 texts straight, only you. Like, calm down, bro. I'm just saying, though. Let me see. All right, so let's see what this do. Yeah, let somebody else get it in. I appreciate your intensity, though. But if you're gonna do one word at a time, you can put them words in the one text. So let's look at it. I thought this was millions I'm talking about? Thought that was millions. It is millions. So his monuments of millions to be distinguished, to distinguish the monuments belonging to the gods. Now what is this? Let me see. I can't figure this out. We have a mouth, right? And then we got 3 strokes under the mouths of the houses, the mouths of the temples, the preacher, because it got 3 parus under here. The incantations, the mouth of the house, the what is this? The temple. I'm tripping. It's just the temple. I remember that. Because we figured this out the other day, because this is where they're doing incantations. That's why you got a mouth in the house. I messed that up, because I should have remembered that. The temples belonging to who? Now, if you messed this one up too, you just messed up the last one. I'm just going to tell y'all that this is, oh man, I'm about to mess this up. I'm going to make it big. So you participate, Patah. You can mess it up for me. Mess this one up for me, Patah. Oh man, what happened? I tried to make it bigger. And I zapped off the whole text. Let me find it. I'm making it bigger so y'all can decode this. Was it this one we was on? Nope. Way down here. All right, there go the, all right, so look. Patah, since you hot thumbs over there, you might be right, Patah. That's what I was going to say, but I don't think that's right. So let's talk about it. You just put Amen. And you didn't put Amenta, which this probably ain't. But this probably is the other. No, this isn't, I bet. Let me show you what this is in my memory. This is a symbol of power, bro. This ain't the East or the West. This is Sikkim. That's just my memory. I could tell, Ta'ar. I don't know this place. So this is a place none of us said. It's an actual place. This is Thenis. Okay, so I told you I could be wrong. I don't have no problem with that. But I was thinking that this was the symbol for power, Sikkim. So they're talking about these are the temples of Thenis. Temples belonging to Thenis. Now we got Heb. What is Heb in? I'm just going to tell you what I think. Descending to send. I said descend, but I should have said sending to. Sending to the king to. Now, what's this one gonna throw me off? But I see the bird behind it. And then we got Kush. Okay, we gotta figure this out. What is that thing in front of the bird? It ain't normal. We just gonna click it. Waba. I seen the bird, so that's a wa. Waba. Uba. To open, to drill. Waba. Damn. I know that word. Drilled by great or bad? Great. Grilled by great of monuments. But no. This got an X at the end. So Menex. Now notice this is a play on this word. Look. Samin, menu. Now we got Menex came before menu. Where did Menex go? Oh, right here. How do you say Menex? So why does it have this placenta here, or this X, or this KH sound? Menex. We already know what this men is related to, the monuments. This is to distinguish them. This is men. The actual root word means to establish or to bring together. But they just put an X on it to say something different here. So this is how did I get past the Kush? Wait a minute. Did I read this wrong? I skipped over Kush. Opening to open Kush by greatness. How you gonna open Kush? To drill Kush? By because of greatness belonging to his monuments? Excellence. Okay, his excellence. Yeah, I knew they put a different sound on there. Upon giving the spirits of the Lord of the two lands, macabre. What is this? Macabre, like I said, but what is it? In the midst of, I'm tripping. In the midst of, I know that. In the midst of wait, why I got a heart right here? In the midst of the hearts of the foreign land? Or was this heart before this? In the midst of the foreign lands, bro. See, I got so much better. I read the glyphs in English. Reading them in the metal netter ain't impressive to me no more. But what is this word? Bachet. I just read it in the metal netter because I don't know the word. I think I'm reading this like a SH. Bachet. Bachet. I don't know. It got the smell. It's something about a smell. To rebel. Damn, dog. So the word for smelling got that in there too, but this is to rebel. That's a heart. That's a word I should know that I'm forgetting that I ain't even gonna play around with. Shemesh, to follow. Yeah, I knew I should know it. To follow. To follow the monuments? What? All right, cool. So I'm going back to this word. To rebel, all right. So it's something about his heart rebelling, because they're the heart. So if you got the heart to rebel, not the heart like you bold, if that's what you want to do. If his followers' monuments belonging to Iti, this is the elder, the sovereign. Yeah, Iti, the sovereign, bro. Stop playing. To the foreign lands. All right, I'm kind of learning. And this is the road, the road, or the remote far. All right, I thought it was the road. Watts is far. And Sejum, I see, that might not be the Sejum ear, but I see Sejum new. Oh, this is a whole phrase I don't know. It's some Sejum word. It looked like it might be wrong. Nope, this wasn't even that was hella long. So he's the overseer of the seal. I see that part now. But this wasn't there at first. It was only the Sejum in. And he is the deputy of the overseer of the sealers. All right. But I'm trying to figure something out, though. They're going to give the spirits belonging to the Lord of the two, the Lord of the two lands. McCleb, all right, yeah, that's right. Now let's just go read it. See what it say now, after all that. It say, worship of Osiris of Uri by Eripot. See, they said that's his name. Eripot ain't his name. That's a title. Look, that's right here. But anyway, by Eripot. Now that might be his name. Hot Tia. Let's see what that say. Eripot. Oh, see, now notice in the translation, anyway, they saying that's his name. We all know that ain't. the king's confidant in the erection of his monuments. We said that. His initiate in court, whom the king appointed to oversee the work on his infinitely numerous monuments. That's why they said his million. He said his million monuments. Okay, we got that. Who made the monuments of the gods in the temple of the Thionite known functional. We got that completely. Y'all don't remember? But I just messed up Thionite known. I messed up Thenis. But I don't care. Messing up is what make it good. Whom the king sent to develop Kush. So let's talk about that. That's a lie, bro. You ain't developed no Kush. That's why they don't understand this. So let me show you where this is coming from. Right here. This word. See, this. Let me show you how we do the homework real fast. This word right here, and it's wabah, to open. We're going to go into some of the other. Well, first, we're going to see, it does say develop as the third option right here. But we got open, drill, develop, penetrate, to open or to drill stone. So we're not talking about stone. But look, to open, to pierce, to explore, or to exploit. Now I'm telling you right now, the reason why this text caught me like that, because I'm like, this fool not about to open or develop no Kush. But let's read it with a different translation at develop. Whom the king appointed to oversee the work of his infinite numerous monuments, who made the monuments of the gods in his temple of the Thionite known functional, whom the king sent to explore Kush because of the high opinion he had of his ability. Right? Like, you didn't go develop no Kush. He went to explore Kush because he had a high opinion of your ability to do so. Who spread, now if we wanted to go in further, we go see how many of these translations out of 237 they used to say develop. I guarantee you they all gonna say open, drill, explore, open, drill, explore. Watch this. We'll just do 2 pages. And I'm gonna do it fast, not slow. Watch. I'm gonna see, this is gonna be opening. The drilling the stone, see? Cut open. His mouth was cut open. His nose was open, see? Drilling the carnelian, see? That's what I'm trying to tell you. The only time they're going to translate it to say develop is going to be in the instance when they want you to think Egypt developed Kush. Man, I'm starting to figure out how to do this way too easy. Watch this. Do anything say develop, or do it say, well, who watches over his departure? So what is it in this? To watch over? Anyway, open. The canal is open. Your hands have been washing, your ears are open. The nurse's canal has been open. I want to see it say develop. Besides, when you try to make people think Egypt. See, they be doing this. I didn't even find it in here. Where's open or something? Opens. The living one who opens the watery region of heaven. Okay? The nurse's canal is open. Do y'all see how it be? And it's 24 pages. So if you want to do something exhaustive about this term, then you go scrutinize the rest of those pages. My mouth has been open for me. My nose has been open for me. I open my ears. So right now, we see the most common use case of the term is to open. Peppy opened. The canal is open. Almond's canal opens. Peppy mouth opens. Come on, man. But all of a sudden, when it get used for Kush, well, let's be fair. Because look, I was sent to open the southern foreign lands for, see, this is why we do this work. See, y'all don't understand what this means. Remember I told you the other day, if you was watching my show, about the bushwhacker? The one who is qualified to blaze the trail in a particular direction. I don't even want to have my shades on. These lights be doing my eyes bad. But the ones who blaze the trail. Now you think that wasn't something? You're wrong. So it don't have to be bushes in front of you for you to blaze a trail. You simply have to know how to navigate to the destination. So we started scrutinizing another term that they had associated with Kush, and they translated it as develop. I'm willing to tell you, I already know how they work. The only instance it's going to say develop in this whole text corpus is going to be that one text. Why? Because they wouldn't want you to think anything else about going deeper into Africa, that Egyptians went to go develop it. If I'm wrong, then it's going to appear and say develop on another term. This is not rocket science. And I'm betting on myself because I've done this shit hella times. So it's probably going to say develop on maybe 2 other terms, but this one says open every time. And this is directional. This text could be used as a comparable text to that text. I was sent to open the southern foreign lands. Waba Kasat Risu. Open up the south, man. To Horus Maret Tawi. Oh my God, I told you that. Oh, where my man at? Where is Yurik at? Yurik, I told you, bruh. Tawi got opened. Damn. I found the text. I need some horns and some bells and the whistles. I'm turning on my beat machine. Let me show you how serious this is. We find a beat machine now. Yup. We're going to pull it. You see, I told y'all. And you got and what's his name got another text like this too. Yurik got another text where he included Wawet and all these lands into Taseti. Beat machine taking a minute because I don't be making no music. It's just spinning and spinning and spinning. I was sent to open up the southern foreign lands. So what that mean to you? You think he went to drill them or develop them, huh? Nah, man, I was sent to open them up, man. You'd be better off looking at that at the way black people would say, open it up. To get it open, if you want to be literal, is to carve the way, I would say. But to open up the southern foreign lands, you could say to get them open. Better than you could say what Egyptology says. All right, now, I remember once I was looking through my old songs and I have seen one called Show. It had all my sound effects for the shows and stuff. Let's see if I can find it. It was like show sounds. But all right, forget it. Show sounds gotta be there somewhere. All right, I'm not about to do that right now. Turn that back off. Now we gotta get used to this where they simply not developing the southern foreign lands. They're just opening them up. My sending, i.e., I was sent to open up the southern foreign lands for Horus Maret Taui Nefer Zahor. May he live forever. Pepi, during the time period of Pepi, Old Kingdom. Damn, this makes perfect sense. The marker now has been open. The mod channel for Father Osiris has been open. That's 2 pages of it just meaning open. But when we come to the one, it's going to all of a sudden mean develop. Open. Another canal open. The Russian lake is flooded and flooded. The nurse channel's open. I do this all day, bro, and I'll be like, no, that word don't mean that when I talk to people. Now, here's one, and this is good for me and my stuffy nose. You are supposed to bore out his nose. Nah, man, I'm still living with animals that I'm allergic to, and I don't really care. I don't like taking on the drugs all the time. But whatever. You are supposed... Now, what do you think they're doing here? Building a statue or something. Well, nevertheless, this is to drill out or bore out. His Majesty Murrah, Lord, said, Father, to jam, to open, literally to open the way to the foreign land. I told you to open the way. Now look, remember I told you Rosicrucians took the opener of the way and they messed it all up? The opener of the way was literally a bushwhacker or a person who could show them how to get to where they're trying to go. But if you want to be the mental opener of the way, that's fine. I can mentally show you how to get in the spiritual plane. That's fine, but I'm superimposing all this stuff on the text. Lopsided is a misspelling of the word lopsided. I don't know what that's getting at, though. Which means unevenly balanced, which is heavy and one side is larger. Okay, let me see. So they always carve out a way to the foreign land. They don't go develop it. Look, Mirror, my Lord sent me, my father, the soul companion, lector, priest, Eri, to Yam to open up the road to the foreign land. Y'all thought I was lying? The opener of the way, bruh, is the one who know how to get there. So I'm not discounting the metaphysical teachings and what we learn from looking at things metaphysically or other ways, but you have to first understand the practical use of the language. They might have been showing a person how to get someplace physically and then took that statement, the opener of the way, and applied it mentally. Or applied that for you to be the opener of the way while you're on your spiritual ascension into the duat, right? You need to know how to get there. But that ain't nothing else but somebody who helped you get places. And the term wabah is his type of opening up the way, right? Let me see. I descended to the region of the estates of the ruler Za. Hey, bro, I never read this. It's not too many texts I be coming across that I ain't even read. This is hardcore. But I just don't remember this ruler of Zatu, so we're going to have to go look into the meta nature. I descended into the region of the states of the ruler of Zatu and Earthet after I opened up these foreign lands, see? After I chopped down some bushes and figured out how to get there. I descended to the vicinity of the house of the ruler of Zau and Earthet only after I opened up these foreign lands. See, this one say I descended into, and this one say I descended from. But we're going to look at the Medu Netra. Now, this word is Hai, but it has an end after it. So that means had descended. That's why they put the ED on there. Because this in the transliteration, that's why they got this in parentheses, because they know that this is a sejm in F form. See, I got to click some of these off again. Now, why do it sound like I'm saying something complicated? I ain't. I'm not. I am kind of wise, though. But I ain't like the smartest person. I meet hella people hella smarter than me, right? And my level is just what the average aptitude we all got. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just applying it and stuff. It's not like I know something special. And so I'm saying that to say, if I see it, you can see it. But, I mean, I do apply myself rigorously, and I'm a perfectionist, and I like getting to the bottom of things. And so that might be my best qualities, but it's not like I got some aptitude some people don't got. You can see it too. But anyway, who escorted the ruler's monuments to the distant foreigners? That don't even sound like it makes sense. Who escorted the ruler's monument to the distant foreign? So what you trying to tell me? Y'all built the statue and then took it to the distant foreign lands? I ain't gonna sit here reading all the meta nature of everything. I had carried out many errands while selling upstream to Kush. Y'all want to go look at some of his errands? He got hella errands. But this is an elephantine text, elephantine. I had carried out many errands while selling upstream to Kush. In 13 days, I freed my wife, children, property, and household from the south of Kush. They ain't making no sense to you because they trying to put it all in the king's English. These wife and children was some wife and children that he had in Kush, if you ask me. Because when you read this whole story, I'll go into it right now. This is an Egyptian who go down to see his family in Kush. Then he give him so much money on his way back, he ain't got no more money for his other wives. Did I mess that story up? Let's go see. Yep, he give up so much of his bread and stuff to his family in Kush that when he get back, and it's a short story, 2 pages, so we can do the whole thing. Top to bottom. Then I'm probably about to go get out in the world Sunday. Maybe I'll go make a run, have me some dinner, something to eat. Check this out. Some lunch. A sacrifice given by the king Horus Behedeti of Osiris, Lord of Busiris. I can make it smaller. Let me just reset this. All right, that's how it's supposed to be. Let them offer funerary offering consisting of bread, beer, cattle, fowl, all things by which God lives, for the Ka of Her F, his wife Hor Mini, his son Hor M Behudet, his son Patah Wer, his son Beb, his daughter Neferet, his daughter Sa'isi, his daughter Hor Mini, saying, I am a strong fighter and access holder of Edfu. Right? So he's telling you, I got access to Edfu, family. Now he say, in 13 days I freed my wife, children, and property household from the south of Kush. What does that mean? Well, we could go into the meta-netta and see if we could get some clarity, but it seems to say the same thing. So, the first term we got is to loosen or to release. That's why they say freed. I released wife. See, this is a word for wife. Now, yeah, to loosen and to release is different than to free. Because if you release your wife, that's kind of like cutting her off. And that go more with the story. But look, I released, this is wife and children. Really, I released wife, children. You want me to click any of these words? This is wife, dog. Hemet. Woman, wife. This is children. Correct. Child youth. See? Now I'm going to make it bigger. That's why I was making it bigger. So now what is this? Reket, though. So the root to this word is knowledge, but they put a T on it. That turned it, and that should make it an entity, one who has knowledge. And see, that's why they got this man behind it. But let me click it. Oh, they say a list. I forgot. It also could be a list. It can be. My list. So how does that make sense? I released I released wife and children list and property. Oh, all right. Whatever. And my list of South. Nah, this ain't list. That's why they got a question mark next to it. This could be a list, and it's most often a list when you see it like this. But my list, I released wife and children, my list from, oh, this is not also, this is, oh, okay. Oh, okay, they messed this up. This isn't only in the list, this is an account. Trust me, do it say it on there? Yeah, and they say amount. Maybe I'm messing up. I said account. They said an amount. I think I meant to say amount, not an account. Yeah, all right. So, all right. What does that make sense? How does that make sense? My amount. Oh, yeah, he about to talk about money in a minute. Man, let's say I release wife and kids my amount of the south of Kush. And this say Kushi, south of Kushi by 13 belonging to I don't know this word. This a day, an hour, a day, yeah. Told you. 13 days, by 13 days. I released my wife and children a list by South Kush in 13 days. How you make sense out of that? In 13 days, nope. In 13 days, I released my wife and children. What about the list? Oh, that's why they said and property household. Oh, he's saying everything that amount to. A list amount theoretically available stock. That's what it is. Because he's saying I released my wife, my children, and my available stock. There you go. In the south of, now this is in. Look. In. To, on, or from. It's not from the south of Kush. If so, his wife and Kush was from the south of Kush. In 13 days. That don't make no sense. In. So I released my wife and kids and my all of my stuff in the south of Kush in 13 days. Man, I'm sorry. Because watch. I have acquired 26 Devon of gold. So he didn't sell his children, but how you get 26 Devons of gold? Because you released your property and stuff in Kush and you sold it. This is to bring, I fetched. They're going to say fetch. To bring, see, I bring. I have brung gold and it say 26. So he got 26 Devons of gold. Now look, but I was a servant who consumed it, namely, but it was a servant who consumed it, namely G. Let's look at this, because I see Baquette, right? It's a woman servant. Baquette, a worker. Usha. What does usha mean? To consume, to eat, to chew. See? To chew. So he's saying a woman worker, a baquette, a servant, but that's a woman. A maid, see? A baquette, a servant ate your gold. Nah, bruh. This was just the word it. And this is her name. I.e. a worker had consumed. No, to consume it just means she took it. Now let's see what happened. This is no occasion. This never happened to him, I guess. I said no occasion. You can clearly see the knot over there. Nothing of it. No occasion. And now this is there. M, they just called this an M of none of it. Literally, none of it. This is none of it, bruh. Belonging to the worker. None of it belonged to her. Oh. Because none of it belonging to, look, we said Kot, Hemet, the working woman. Oh, none of it ran for, oh, Ket, Hemet. None of it remained for another woman. So let's slow down. Why did his gold need to remain for another woman? I told y'all thought I was playing in this text. When I first started reading this, I was like, man, he left his wife and them and tried to get some more twerk. What does he mean he left his wife and them? Now he needs this. How did the servant consume it? She didn't consume it. Was she like, did she, something up, dude. So he's saying this lady took his money and none of it, the gold, remained for another woman. So watch what happened. Look. And we could go in the metadata. I have purchased a plot of land measuring 2 square yards. So let's stop. First of all, cats didn't know you owned your land in Kemet. All this stuff people thought that it wasn't going on. We thought slavery, everything. Please, you used to buy land, get a land stipend, all kind of stuff. But this is I have brung or I have fetched. Now they just made it into I have purchased. I guess this could mean to purchase, but it's normally to bring. That's to buy. Okay. See, because they didn't put this part on there, right? This is a reward. So it's called a purchase, okay. But they didn't put that on here. They just simply got N-E-N-E, as you see right here, N-E-N-E. N-E-N-E, and sa-o, but I don't know this word mean. The ground or the floor. And this is like to whip, a quadrille. I don't know what a quadrille is. I don't know, but he purchased a plot of land measuring 2 square units. One of these was for her mini as her property. So look, he ain't got no money for another woman. I told y'all he had a whole Kushite family that he left, and you ain't even tripping. Now we can understand this. In 13 days, remember, freed ain't the best word. In 13 days, what's the best word when we click it? Released. In 13 days, I released my wife and children and my commodities in the south of Egypt. Like he left them there. Now, he got some gold. See, this was this working woman, bro. I'm trying to say, But it was a servant who consumed it. No, this is a female worker. That's what this literally says. Bach is a worker. You put a T on it, it becomes a female. Now you put this. Don't tell me he got by a working woman. Maybe, how did she consume it? We know she didn't eat it. So if she was a female servant who consumed his gold, it was for her service. Now look what he do next. Nothing of it remained for another woman. So he couldn't even go get no. Listen to what he's saying, dog. She didn't steal it. I don't think she stole it. I think he spent it on her services. I ain't saying her services were sexual, but you could ask that. But I'm simply saying a female worker. Whatever she was doing for him consumed all his 26 Devons. Now he ain't got no more gold for another woman. Why, first of all? Well, check this out. If nothing remains for another woman, then that's why you had it in the first place. It was for a woman. Anyway, let's continue. I have purchased a plot of land measured 2 square yards. One of these was 4. It sounds like he telling a gripe. You know how your homie be venting? Like he got caught up. It sounds like he got caught up. One of these was for Herman and as her bride. Well, why ain't it still for her? It should say is for. One of, I don't know this to be the word for these. This is her name. One belonging to many, right? Means there. Oh, one belonging to her many there. What is this? Sue in rec? S? All right. Belonging to her knowledge. I don't know. Something about, I said her knowledge, her as her property. As her, yeah, this is, see, when they say rec here, they're talking about your commodities as her property. So who is her Minette? Is she the other woman he was talking about? She's not G or J, and she ain't his wife that he left in Kush. Dude kind of scandalous, huh? The other one in her possession belonged to me. Okay. So she got 2 houses. He like, I bought her that one house is good. But the other house, mine. And we could clearly see, I am the other. Look, I am the other. I don't know what. My S. What is this, owner? This is a word for owner? In the hand of, in the possession of. Yep, this is a word for owner. I'm the other owner. I'm the other owner, it. The other one is in my possession. I possess it. Basically. I purchased a plot of land of 1 square yard, which was given to my children. Oh, let's slow down. Because now he's addressing his first woman and the children. So he gave them some land. That means that other woman he was just talking about might have been his wife. Him and that is his wife. And now he's saying, I gave the wife a house that had one for me, and it was one for my children. A plot of land for the children. 1 square yard, don't think about that. It's a bad translation. I was paid for 6 years of service. All right, that's all he left. Now let's see where this was at. It's an Edfu. Stella of whatever, man. They saying some stupid shit. All right, that's cool to read though. All right, who out there in the world, man? I just was looking over some text, but I started getting hungry. Who out there? What it do? Tell me what it do after 2. And what about you? I could roll something in DoorDash. I'm changing my pants at least before I go out into the world. But what it do? Yeah, I looked at that. I was like, that stupid ass translation was hella stupid. I don't be reading that. Sometimes when it's supposed to say beloved, they be putting his lover. I'm like, that say beloved. Why y'all put his lover? Oh, I don't remember what I ate yesterday. I went out to do something. I think I wound up just sitting around the house with the wife. I didn't even do nothing special. Thanks for asking. Well, my wife is out at an event, so I could go sit by myself and chill. Just went to go see Souls and Farside in Manchester last night. Ja Rule's special guest appearance. Damn, that's crazy. I should have went. I was hitting them up in the WhatsApp, talking some business. I forgot that they was in the on the road. Where was I at? Oh, wherever I'm at, I stay fly fresh, man, you know. Ever since I had to go in the closet after I made my song about Ralph Lauren, you feel me? But I've been collecting low. If you could go watch any of my videos, even when I wasn't talking about it, I probably would be more casual. I have my bummy days when I turn to a fisherman. You can't wear your fly shit. But I did a song that you could look up right on Spotify called Rockin' Low Vintage. So, you know, you gotta show them how to really do it, right? I ain't really show them how to all the way do it, though, you know what I mean? Because they don't even understand this pimping. How long? If they didn't see that jacket like that, then they would have understood that, though. But I ain't putting on that white coat today. I just had to closet y'all up, man. Stop playing with me. All right, it's about the end of that good show. I've been rebuilding the team on college football. I made my, what's my team? Utah, we've been doing kind of good. We got to the Nationals and lost it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Kush. Yeah, I'm about to go get out here, though. Have some fun. Yeah, I'm 50 years old, but rocking the tie ain't nothing, bro. You just do that just because it's a Sunday, you feel me? Yeah. Matter of fact, let me play my new song for them since they don't know. And I'm going to get up out of here. You feel me? All right.
I be rockin' low.
Vintage, polo, bitch, look at us. Kanye said he got that look from us. Head to toe low since I took the bus. Now I ride that low with the rugby crest and the bubbly vest. And your hoe know me, but I leather with the sweater with the polo P. Big homie, big pony with the logo T. Your chick on me, that's just how the hoe gon' be. We out touring, pulling out forms, looking like Ralph Lauren. Rock the double RL, the purple label. Been rockin' low since the 6th grade. Acting like you don't know niggas, bitch, man. Basketball bear on the pull down. In a Palladium 1992 stadium, Snow Beach, low piece. In the South, I rock the low country, so chunky. Lil' swap me, hoes, bitch, don't know shit. Bear on the chest, that's the polo fit. What are those? These Iro kicks. The polo sportsman out in the sticks. What are those? Old school BU mix. The troop jacket with the Saucony kicks. What are those? Bitch, stop acting like you don't know. Everywhere we go, we freshly dipped in the polo. Bitch, look at my socks. Got the plaid polo horses matching the Reeboks. Bitch, look at my drawers. Got polo horses all by my balls.